Hi guys. So in the last few videos, we saw how we can edit our data, format our data in the form of rows and columns present in our Excel sheet. In today's video, we are going to study about tables and conditional formatting in Excel. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, we have this data like we have a regular data set over here, which is present in the form of rows and columns. Now, what does a table mean? If we go to insert here, you can see a table is basically used to organize and analyze related data. It helps you sort, filter and format the data in an easier manner. So how do you convert this normal data, normal looking data into a table? So just select the data, Control A to select all the data and press this table and press OK. So you can see your data has been transformed in the form of a table and a new tab called Table Design has opened. From here you can select whatever rows and columns that you want to add or select. From here, from multiple designs, you can choose the design of your table that you want. And here you can get multiple options to remove the rows or remove duplicate rows and so on. From here you can export this table into some other format also. Now one thing that is very helpful here is that whenever you had normal data in your spreadsheets, you had to press Ctrl Shift L as a shortcut to filter your data or to sort your data or perform any other kind of operation. But here everything comes literally in front of you. So every column here comes up with this pop-up tab where you can filter it or you can sort the data in any format. Let's suppose I want to filter particular values. So I am only interested in, let's say, business analyst role. I can directly select it from here and I will get the data filtered. So this is why tables are nothing different from a spreadsheet. They just make your life easier. Instead of again and again pressing your shortcuts, you have some readily options available here. Similarly, if from this table you directly want to create a pivot table, just click over here, summarize, and your pivot table will be formed. Now, what are pivot tables? We will be covering in the upcoming lectures in great depth. But for now, you understand that we directly have options to create these functions from the table menu. Apart from this, let's suppose if you want to text filters, or let's suppose we take a numerical column. So this is my salary column and you want to apply any filters. Let's suppose you want only the top 10% salaries. So you can select directly from here and based on the filters, you will get the job. It is not available. Let's do this. And now you can get the top 10% salaries for these roles. So you can see the highest paying salaries or in the top 10% are for these specific rows, right? Similarly, you can apply any other filter over here. For text also, you have filters available. For sorting also, you have different options available. So converting your simple rows and columns data into a table makes it very easier for you to apply these formulas or to study this data. Coming to the next part, we have conditional formatting. Conditional formatting basically means formatting based on certain conditions, right? So we have this very plain looking data set and let's try to see how we can modify this using our conditional formatting. So first of all, what I have done is, let me name this column X and Y. So I have put a border across this table. Now, conditional formatting basically means that whatever values you select, there would be some criteria based on which the formatting would be done. Let's suppose I select these values and I want to perform conditional formatting. I want to highlight cells that are greater than, let's say, 5,000. And I want to fill them with, let's say, yellow color, and you can see. So whatever cells you select and whatever condition you give, according to that, the condition will be applied and formatting will be done. Now let's suppose I want to highlight only those cells where value is less than, let's say, 1000 and I want them in, let's say, green, not yellow but green. And if I press OK, you can see whatever cells had values greater than or less than 1000 have been formatted as green color. So this is the most basic kind of conditional formatting. Now let's suppose in the median salary column, I only want those rows highlighted which are in top 10%, or let's suppose which are in top 30%, only those salaries, and I want them again to fill with some light red color. So you can see my top 30% salaries or whatever were falling in that percentile have been selected. If I want, I can mention more roles also. So over here, you can see you can change the values to, let's say, top 30 or top 40%, selected percentage, and accordingly your values will change. Let me write it 34, and accordingly your formatting will change. So whatever formatting you are selecting, you can go to more rules to add the rules and select the values, right? Accordingly your values will change. Now this was a very basic way of formatting. The next is called as data bars. Data bars add a colored data bar to represent the value in the cell. So let me go to more rules, show bar only. Let's select the color of the bar to be mauve, and we will be getting the values. So you can see whatever value was there in the cell, accordingly a bar is built. The higher is the size of the bar, or the more is the size of the bar, the higher is the value. So this basically gives me an intuition about the data present in my cell. Instead of just giving numbers all the time, it becomes very hectic to understand or interpret those numbers. That is why this comes in very handy. You can clearly see here the highest salaries are for cloud engineer, followed by maybe senior data analyst, then machine learning engineers, and so on. Sorry, these are not salaries, but work from home percentage, right? So you can represent your numerical data like this also in the form of data bars. Now what else do we have? We have color scales. Let's select this. So depending on whatever value is present in your column or the selected data set, the darker color means higher values, the lighter colors mean lighter values, or the smaller numbers mean lighter values. So again, you can go to more rules also to change the rules or to select the highest and the lowest values accordingly. So format all cells based on their values. I want 3 color scheme now. Press OK. You can see 3 colors have been introduced: red, yellow, and green. So accordingly, you can change your settings for your conditions. Now what else do we have? Let's try that. Icon sets. Icon sets basically help to set icon values depending on the value in your data. So you can see over here, let me increase the size. It has put star rating depending on the data. Whatever was the highest value is put as full star, and comparatively they have assigned these values. Now let me select this and let's try to see more rules. In more rules, let's say I only want the icon, because if icon is there, I don't want the number, right? And similarly over here, let's select star. And in this, if you see, I can set the value also. So for example, values which are greater than 70 will be given full star. Value which are greater than, let's say, 40 will be given this star. And empty star is given for values which are less than or greater than 10. So you can see accordingly the stars have been assigned for the column. Increase this. So this is again using the icons we are representing our data. Let's try some other icon also. Let's say this. Let's say these indicators, right? And let me go into again more rules to set the rules. So these are my indicators. Okay. And let's say if the value is greater than 70, then you give go signal. If the value is greater than, let's say, 50, you go this signal, else you go this red signal and press OK. One more thing that I forgot was to remove the numbers. So more rules, and again selecting whatever we want here on this, and I only want the icons. So you can see I am getting the icons. So these icons very much help us in understanding that which values were greater than 70, which values were less than 50, and so on. So this is known as conditional formatting. Whenever you are building a table, it is a good idea to apply this conditional formatting to some of the cells. And this I have also converted it into a table now. So you can see here I have this table, and let's insert a slicer for the job titles. Let me reduce this and bring my slicer over here. So you can see this is basically to allow multiple select. So now what I can do is, let's suppose I want to understand or compare only the analyst roles. So business analyst data analyst, senior analyst. So these are my roles and these are my data points. So based on this slicer, you can also, it helps you in comparison when you are comparing lesser number of values. So this is a combination where I first converted this into a table so that I can import it as I can import the slicer, and then I have also applied conditional formatting. Now, just a tip, do not apply conditional formatting to all the cells because it becomes very difficult to then interpret the data. It becomes very cumbersome and chaotic. So it's a good practice to use these conditional formattings, but in a limit. So this is all that I wanted to cover for today's video. Thank you so much, and for more such videos, stay tuned.